Hi, everybody, and it is day 4 of the 9 candles. And as you can see, if you're not listening to this on your headset and not watching it, Tim's with us. Tim Walter from York, England, York area, Yorkshire. Um, Welcome, Tim.
Thank you for having me. It's good if I put the sound on, that's a start.
Yeah, that yeah, turn the mic on. It always helps, especially for the people who are just listening. Anyway, we're going to start by lighting the candles, and then we're going to come over. We're going to have a discussion with Tim about how he fits into the growing of positive intentions in our world. So we're going to the candles. For those who've not seen them before, there are 9 candles here. There's this beautiful chunk of rose quartz, which stands, it's the meaning of rose quartz is I open my heart to love, healing, compassion, and peace. That's its affirmation. And rose quartz stands for all of the things that are happening as Jupiter meets Venus. And I'm going to read the meditation now and light the candles, and then we'll be back to talking to Mr. Tim. As Jupiter and Venus meet in the sky on June 9th, we are invited into a moment of expansion, beauty, hope, and heart-centered possibilities. And Jupiter brings growth, vision, wisdom, and abundance. Venus brings love, harmony, creativity, pleasure, and connection. Together, they create a powerful, energetic doorway for gratitude, attraction, healing, and joy. Imagine standing as we can on the 9th of June in the twilight sky filled with soft golden and rose-colored light. And you look above, right at just as the sun is setting, you'll see the two brightest objects in the sky other than the sun and the moon itself. And that's Venus and Jupiter shining together brightly, two celestial lights weaving their energies into one radiant stream. Jupiter whispers to us, expand beyond your fear, dream larger, trust the path opening before you. Venus whispers, open your heart, receive beauty, allow love and kindness to flow freely. See their combined light gently pouring down upon you like a warm liquid starlight. It fills your heart first, softening old worries, dissolving the heaviness, awakening our hope. Let this light move through your body, into your mind for clarity, into your spirit for faith, into your hands for creation, and into the future for possibilities. Ask yourself quietly, what am I already welcome? What am I willing to welcome with joy? Where am I being called to trust in abundance? And how can I create more beauty and harmony in my life? Sit for a moment and see what arises. Now imagine placing one intention into the hands of the universe, something you want to see grow with grace, wisdom, and love. See Jupiter magnifying this intention with opportunity, while Venus surrounds the intention with compassion and balance. I open my heart to this divine timing. I welcome growth guided by love. I trust beauty unfolding in my life. I feel the energy of Jupiter and Venus glowing within myself, expansive, gentle, and full of possibility. This is when we bring our lighted candles, the light of these candles. When we are ready, return slowly, carrying the light of these candles with you. And for those who might be kind of new to this, we build up to 9 candles each day. As we light each candle, we'll, at the end of this time with Tim, we'll blow the candles out. You can light candles in your home with me if you care to join. You can light 1 candle. You can go crazy and light 9 candles, whatever you want to do. But the idea always has been in places that in services that use candles, you light the candle because you can see how I struggle to get these poor babies lit. You have to work at getting them lit, and then we blow them out. And the ninth day, we light all the candles and we let them all burn down, and we let this intention move up. And this will be on a premiere on the ninth, the nine candle, the final part, so that they can grow and glow and go to the center of the universe. So that's where I'm going. Tim, where are you going?
Well, thank you for that. It's a brilliant time, isn't it? It's beautiful to actually connect into the heavens in that way. And Venus and Jupiter, what a magnificent pairing that is. I think for many of us now, the whole concept of the need for heartfelt hope
Mm-hmm.
is one of the biggest things that we're kind of crying out for. A lot of people come to me and there seem to be the subtext of what they're talking about is that they need change, sure,
Mm-hmm.
and they need that hope. And most of the work and the way that I look at the world and the energetic world that we exist in, it really is about understanding that there is always a possibility of something different.
Mm-hmm.
We as human beings are conditioned into thinking that we exist in the same way all the time. And actually, when we start to look at the science, I don't want to go into depths of science, but when we start to look at the science, the quantum realm, which as far as
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned is really can be experienced symbolically around us in earth energy flows, and of
Mm-hmm.
course those energy flows are also galactic flows as well,
Mm-hmm.
then what we really see is that what the quantum realm of possibility is giving us is that possibility for change, hope, and love, compassion, all of these things, as long as we are open to the possibility that it can be present with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the way that I kind of look at all of this stuff.
Well, you've written a book about this. Your book is called
What now? Press a
that.
pregnant pause. The book is called What Now?
Yeah.
Exploring a Simple Spiritual Path Through Dowsing and Self-Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
And it is really about that point of awareness, of really understanding,
Mm-hmm.
helping people really see that the what we talk about as the power, our
Mm-hmm.
power is in, right? We talk about this in sort of spiritual terms and metaphysical
Mm-hmm.
terms, but the real power, it's a very simple process, and we make it very, very complicated sometimes. But the very simple process that I'm trying to put across in the book is actually that I've just discussed, which is that the possibility for us to change is literally in potential in every moment. Because we travel through time,
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. The clock turns around,
Right.
seconds tick by. So in each and every second, divide it into nanoseconds. Each nanosecond is a new opportunity, but we're not aware
Mm-hmm.
of that, of course. But we take advantage of what we can be aware of and what we can perceive. And so in the book, what I talk about is setting exercises, working with earth energy, working with that quantum realm, that possibility, the field of possibility, and working with it and getting very, I want to say personal, up close and personal with earth energy, so that it feels like you're actually, you know, having a relationship with a pet or something
Mm-hmm.
that you love, not necessarily a romantic partner, but but something that is really tangible,
Mm-hmm.
and bringing it into your life in the same way as actually your lovely meditation there at the start is talking about actually just being aware of Venus and Jupiter, which obviously are
Mm-hmm.
thousands, millions of miles away, but they are present in the reality of the observer. And what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about is bringing that presence, being present with the reality of earth energy, the
Mm-hmm.
flows of energy in your world, right in your own home, in your own life, in your reality, and recognizing that that is what you're manifesting with and you are a part of, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody is built from the same thing, which is earth energy, and that is the quantum realm of infinite possibility. So we're constantly on the verge of shifting into a new possibility and a new possible experience.
Yeah, and you're because of what you do, working with earth energies and dowsing, it's so grounded. Um, and for those of you who don't understand about dowsing, there are the deal with the rods that you can do, and that's kind of how you start. But when you feel that energy move through you, and you feel, and the same thing, dowsing is also a pendulum activity. So you can use a pendulum to do dowsing. Dowsing's where it gets up close and personal. When I read cards, that energy's passing through me into the cards. And or when I pull a rune, or I pull crystals together, or I meditate with a piece of rose quartz. Our earth has been so abundant and given us so many milestones to say, you're all connected to this. Nobody's doing it to you. You need to tie into the positive to make to see what's, to feel. And I've done shows on hugging trees. And there's a brilliant physicist who's done a whole set of things that he's where quantum physics and spiritualism meet. I mean, they come as close as they come in some of his shows. And I did a whole show on hugging a tree, and he helped develop instruments that prove that if you hug a tree, you carry energy away from that tree and you hold on to it for 18 hours. And all this, I mean, and Tim's work's about the same thing, and it's just, to me, it's so positive because it's not like, not to put me out of business, but if everybody learned how to do their own world, then they wouldn't have to come say, "Can you do a reading for me?" You could handle your own world.
Yeah, it's kind of what you're referring to there is where I put across this concept that we each live in our own universe. I mean, obviously
Mm-hmm.
the features of the universe are the same thing, but the way that we interact with it is absolutely unique to us. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the essence of us as a soul being, as the
Mm-hmm.
eternal light that is within us each, and we're just simply expressing that in the human form at this time. So the great thing about the heart resonance, of course, is that there is a lot of science
Right.
that backs up the way that the heart influences the electromagnetic field around us. And dowsing is a fantastic way of actually sort of starting to access in a very practical way all of that possibility that is there. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the thing with trees, you mentioned trees, and the thing with trees that is amazing, not only do we feel incredible when we're hugging a tree and maybe having a conversation with
Mm-hmm.
trees, there's a exercise in the book where I actually suggest that that is a really good thing to go and do and
Mm-hmm.
practice to talking to the tree, and obviously give it a hug while you're there, But the thing is with trees is that what seems to happen is that they have a role in the whole Earth energy network, in the whole Earth
Oh
energy
yeah.
matrix, and they're acting like pumps almost
Mm-hmm.
of bringing energy up from within the Earth and putting it into what we perceive as the surface
Mm-hmm.
grid of Earth energy that is around. So when you've got a magnificent tree, whether it's an oak, a sycamore, whatever you want, some people don't like
Mm-hmm.
sycamores, but I actually really quite like them. But they are an active part, not only of providing oxygen for the space in which we
Mm-hmm.
live, but they literally are involved in its creation. And that, of course, links into nature spirits as well. So once we start to open up our heart and start to resonate with these beings, trees
Mm-hmm.
being conscious beings, then you start to feel that whole resonance, and the compassion that they experience and express is found in so many other different things. And particularly if you can get into nature, I know that's not possible for everybody, but even if somebody just has, a plant on their window ledge or
Mm-hmm.
something that they're looking after, then it does give that connection, because that plant is connected to others of its type, and all sorts of little bits of the natural world that are still scattered through an urban environment anyway. Because the thing to remember is that when we go and hug a tree, what
Mm-hmm.
we're really doing in a spiritual sense, and I know it seems a bit out there for some people at this stage, but what we're doing in a spiritual sense is actually we're embracing a part of a bigger self, our
Mm-hmm.
spiritual self that is present simply in a different form. Because actually, when we look at Venus and Jupiter, we're really seeing a reflection, in a sense, of our inner being. And
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing, once we start to see life as a reflection of what's going on in here, then everything becomes a part of the oneness that is often
Right.
talked about in spiritual terms. And even everybody we meet is a reflection of an aspect of us. And so if we think about the cosmic dance that goes on, then that is actually also a reflection of us. And
Hmm.
it's up to us as a conscious aspect of the whole presence to acknowledge it, accept it, and ideally work with it and overcome through various healing methods the the trauma that we will have experienced as a human being. And when you said sort of jokingly that you wouldn't need tarot readers and that sort of thing if everybody was more aware of their own universe, well, actually, I don't think that's true, because I think one of the important things about a spiritual path and about a path of
Hmm.
development and developing an understanding is doing the healing and
With others.
recognizing that healing needs it. You know, we
Hmm.
all need the healing, and that is an integral part of the human condition, and it has to be worked on to then
Right.
raise that vibration.
Oh, I'm not going to put me, well, I couldn't put me out of business that way because I can't read my own cards.
No, that's right.
And I can't read my kids. So if I have questions about those, I have to go find another reader. So we'll never be out.
Yeah,
We'll
no.
never be, our shelf life is much longer than people tried to have for us. And I I think that participating in ceremonies like this and taking a part of a day just to look at this, that helps us all get stronger and gives us a greater level of understanding of what we're up to and what's going on around us. And it gives us a sense of empowerment on our own
Absolutely.
part.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, go on. I was about
No,
to interrupt
because
you.
that's what I was going to say. What you do, Tim teaches people house healing. And what he teaches you how to do is to go into your own intimate spaces and other people's spaces. And I there's a prayer called the Violet Flame where you call in angels and you have them sweep through your house, taking all low, discordant, and unnecessary energy. And then Danny never liked this, Danny Shea. Um, but I said, then they swoop them up and take it to the big laundromat in the sky and clean it up, clean the energy up. And then they bring the energy back. So you're not removing energy from your world. You're, it's the best end of recycling. And Danny didn't believe me, so I went into AI and I created the great laundromat in the sky. It was floating on a cloud.
Great.
Anyway, and I believe that if you've ever done those kinds of things, I taught a woman the violet flame and it was part of my class. Every class gets a copy of it. And she looked at it one day and she was kind of bored and it was during COVID. So she went around her house and she read the violet flame and she thought, oh, it's all in my head. I've
Mm,
convinced myself it's lighter and brighter. It's not really lighter and brighter.
mm,
Then she had the one friend she let in her house during COVID, came over and
mm.
visited. She goes, did you change the drapes? Have you lifted the blinds? It's so much brighter in here. And
Yeah.
she laughed. And the friend said, well, give me that thing. I'm going to try it. And the friend called up and said, it's not in your head. It really makes a difference.
It
So,
is one of the most usual comments that people say after house healing is that it feels lighter and brighter. It's usually like, well, I don't know what you've done, but it feels lighter and brighter. It feels bigger somehow,
mhm.
you know, and that really is the case. And I think that the thing is for people to realize, even you know, I started a new course yesterday with 10 people on the two different groups. And you know, the first session is always about introduction. Well, tell us about yourself. Where are you with the spiritual path and all this sort of thing?
Mhm.
And you know, these people come onto the course. Some of them have got a lot of experience, and you know, but the fundamental, and this is what you've just shared with the violet flame thing. The fundamental of all of this stuff is simply about intention.
Mhm.
So if we, and this is really also what we were saying right at the start about
Mhm.
the idea of potential.
Mhm.
So if we want to change something, that means we're setting an intention to make something different. Now,
Mhm.
there are a million different ways that people can work with subtle energy, which is what we're talking about. When we're talking about manifesting or talking about healing with
Mhm.
energy healing, it's subtle energy. There are a million different ways that people can work with it, and there are all sorts of complicated ways. But the fact is that if a person who's watching this, maybe coming new to your channel for the first time, and just kind of like, what the heck are they talking about? Well, it's about just recognizing that one, that a person has the ability, and every person has the ability to shift and make a change. And those changes might not necessarily be big, wow, oh, zap, suddenly it's a miraculous different environment or
Hmm.
something. But it's subtle change. It's a first link in the chain for further change. And the more people understand and see, witness their own intention making a difference in their
Hmm.
own direct experience of life, which is an important point. It
Right.
has to be the direct individual experience, not, not, you're not changing the experience of a world leader or something like that. You're
Hmm.
changing your experience of
Hmm.
life because everything is a reflection of what's going on in here. So once people understand that they have and they see through practice that they can make a small difference, a small change, then that energy grows. So every time the intention is set, it becomes bigger, it becomes more relaxed, it becomes more expansive. And so the stages of growth, which you will have seen so many times over the years with people when
Hmm.
you've trained them, is that their development goes on this exponential curve because they are simply seeing the results,
That's right.
you know?
And that's in part why I want to create this little candle army for the 9th of June. The more people and the more of us we can pull into the energy of understanding this. I've had friends say to me, I watched some astrologer and they told me about some great thing that happened, but they didn't tell me till either the day it happened or 3 days after it happened, and they said, I feel like I missed it. We are giving you every opportunity to not miss it this time, but to be there and to participate. And whatever part of the world you're in, Jupiter and Venus are going to meet on June 9th. Just got to hang in there.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I would like to add into this is if somebody is wanting to see change in the bigger picture,
Change has to start.
right? So change in the bigger picture. If that's what somebody is wanting to see, and that's what they're doing ceremony for, or simply participating in what we're talking about, what I would ask is that they actually accept that there's this light in their heart, right?
Hmm.
But consider all of the the personal human feelings of the lower vibrational feelings that we have of like, well, that's not fair, this isn't fair, and this doesn't happen for me, and that doesn't happen for me, and it's all that ego
Hmm.
based
Hmm.
thinking. Put that all to one side. Do the exercise, knowing that there is this part of you which is not identifiable, it's not physiological, but
Hmm.
there's this part of you in the heart which is able to express itself, but is connected to the highest resonance possible.
Hmm.
And what really wants to be done is for that person to connect, set the intention to connect to that
Hmm.
highest possible resonance, and then just be present with the desire of change for the best. So
Hmm.
that what's happening there is that they are acting as the flow into the environment. It's not from the ego based stuff that we all carry,
Hmm.
because what we don't want is for that stuff to come in and 8 billion souls, who we say, to be
Hmm.
putting their human baggage into
Right.
the creative field. What we want is for the purest energy to come through that we can each achieve and attach to. That's what we want to do, okay? Not the human, it's not fair, I want this to change, because
Hmm.
that's just going to add to the chaos.
Well, when you point a finger at somebody, you've got
Yes, that's right.
fingers pointing back at yourself. So it's time for us to get into, and by the way, that does not mean that I think I'm blaming anybody that's saying,
No,
well, because you didn't do this. It's just that's a condition we're born in today, and we have choices to make. And I think the best thing about doing ceremonies like this or understanding the kind of work you do or learning how to focus on something more powerful coming through us. And part of that scares people. They don't want things coming through them because every time something came near them, they got hit. It's not like that. It's a gentle opening, pouring down like warm liquid. It feels like warm liquid when it's coming through you. And if you want to come on the journey for the candles, we're Tim and I are both welcoming you to join us, and I'm thanking Tim for being here. Tim, you have a YouTube shows that you do occasionally explaining what you do, and you
Yeah,
do.
we do lives and question and answers, so anybody can bring their questions to those lives. That's probably the best place for people to bring
Mhm.
questions, or to join the channel as a member, and I'll produce a video to give responses. That doesn't happen a lot, but members are there, and there's about 40 or so videos now in the members area.
Yeah.
But yeah, the channel is fantastic. Everybody that comes on board, apart from the odd occasional strange person, is meaning. Everybody is actually very open-hearted and generous and brilliant. It's
Everybody
brilliant.
brings in what they bring, and we learn from
Yeah,
all of it.
yeah.
That's how
Even if
we
some,
put that,
even if
Tim.
that's nicely put.
Um, anyway, and I tell you, Tim does is so different. I actually did, I built, a woman wanted me to build a crystal grid around her whole house. She was building a house in Connecticut. So she sent me the plot of the land, kind of gave me some brief description. She wanted north, south, east, west, and the entry to be covered. And I said, I can't build a crystal grid like I normally build. By the way, Tim is the person who said to me 4 years ago, oh, you build crystal grids, you build them for people. Why don't you build a grid for the world? And I went, that's not pretentious. And I ended up building, and you have the grid now, don't you?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, it's absolutely. It's in my healing room downstairs.
I finally sent it to Tim. I
Yeah.
kept it here till the center stone started cracking. We were not going to go into the earth energy that was causing that, but it's healed. It's now with Tim. It's where it's supposed to be. Mostly because one of the people who's helping me with it, I kept saying, now all we need to do is break into the UN and hang it on the wall.
Uh,
And I couldn't get anybody to volunteer to do that. But you can build, you can create energy for anything. And the big orange grid behind me, Tim, that's the latest grid for the world.
oh, that's nice.
It a lot of the alchemy,
Mm,
energy, and
mm, mm.
peace are up there. Um, anyway, so that's what we do, and we both find it keeps us going, and we're welcome you to come on the ride. We can't promise it's not going to be rocky at points, but some of the rocky stuff is some of the best stuff to talk about later.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
we're going
The
to go
most
blow out the candles, and so Tim can get on with this day. Or you're going into evening now, aren't you? Because
going into evening. Yes, absolutely.
there's 6 hours difference between us. Okay, we're going to blow out the candles, and as you can see, the smoke rises up, and it's continuing to send our intentions for our highest selves and for a higher world forward. And with that, I want to say once again goodbye to Tim Walter for joining me, and thank you so much to everyone who's viewing us tonight. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.